In the blink of an eye, your whole life can change. There's so many moments of defining moments. That 4-inch line in the middle of a road, it can change everything. We have with us today Reggie Shaw. Reggie, I want to take us back in time, September 22nd, 2006. There was a defining moment where going down the middle of the road, that line that's only 4 inches big, you crossed that line. What happened?
Yeah, I was 19 years old. I left my house for work, and I made a choice to do something that I did almost all the time I got behind the wheel of the car. I made a choice to use my cell phone, and I was sending and reading text messages, and I went across that center line, and coming the other way were two men, James Fafaro and Keith Odell, and looked down on my phone, go across the line, hit their car, and their car swung behind me and was struck again. And both men were killed on impact.
The car doing the texting was going this direction. The two Thicol engineers were heading out this way, and as they passed, they brushed each other, which spun the little blue car with the Thicol engineers, spun it around this way into the path of an oncoming pickup. The two people that were killed were inside the blue car. This other one shows what the car looked like after the accident.
Powerful moment, a defining moment that any one of us could face. It's not just about texting. I mean, we all have had distracted moments in our life. We're in a distracted world. And these two guys coming, I read the book that your story is in, A Deadly Wandering by Matt Richtel, and the guy behind you, the truck driver, Mr. Kaiserman, he was watching you wander back and forth across that line, and he kind of had a premonition. He's like, man, nothing good is going to happen here. And but what happened from that moment, you know, there was an accident, 2 lives are gone, you're being charged, and you went through a long period of time where you were denying that you were texting. What was I can't even imagine, number one, what went on in your mind on impact. Talk about that first, and then what was going on when you were in that denial phase.
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of take you back to that day, I mean, the weather was bad.
It was early in the morning.
It was early in the morning.
You
know, there was a lot going on, and you know, at 19 years old, back in 2006, I'd use my cell phone all the time when I drove. I'd never almost been in an accident, never had a close call, and
so there was nothing that got your attention before this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And you know, I never make excuses for the choice that I made, but it was something that wasn't talked about.
And it was a norm.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much a norm.
Absolutely. And so for me, initially it was, well, how could a cell phone cause an accident? I mean, the road's bad. I went to the left. I went over the line. It makes sense to me that I hydroplaned, and I couldn't make the connection between the two myself. And you know, I struggled for a long time right after the accident, and it wasn't until going into court that a man by the name of Dr. Strayer from the University of Utah, he came into court, and you know, he talked about how when you use your cell phone, he calls it inattention blindness, that on an average of about 15 seconds, you can be blind to what's going on around you, that your brain can't regain focus. And that initially kind of got my wheels going and helped me realize that, you know, it was my cell phone. My brain wasn't there. I was not focused. I was not paying attention. And then, you know, sitting there in court, I look over on one side of the courtroom and I see my family sitting there together, and I look on the other side of the courtroom and I see these two men's families. And I see the struggle that they're going through every day. And I did that. I caused that. And it had become clear that there was absolutely no doubt that I did that with my cell phone.
I think also the message, it's not just about setting your phone aside, it's really understanding this addiction, you know, how the brain functions, you know, when it comes to being able to set your phone aside. It is a challenge for a lot of us. I mean, to just turn it off, set it aside, let it wait, you know, until you get to your destination. That's really a powerful message, and now they have scientific background, you know, that really backing that really shows this is truly going on in the brain, and you're delivering that message. What has changed since you started this campaign?
You know, I mean, for me personally, you know, it's been a help to me. It's almost been a release for me to go and talk to others and help other people.
Right, and I really love one thing that you say often in your speeches is that you're not that different than so many people out there. I mean, you had your whole life kind of ahead of you. You're an athlete, you had a lot going on, you were heading to work, you're a successful person, you never had a close call, you're, you know, a safe driver. This is a blink of an eye moment that can happen so easily. It could be anybody in that driver's seat, and it could be anybody in that passenger seat. What parting words would you have for the community, for kids out there at large?
To kind of build on what you just said, I mean, you are not special. You are not the exception. You are not the one who can drive distracted and be safe. It's not worth it. No message, no phone call is worth your life or someone else's life. And you know, if you continue to make the choice to use your phone when you drive, that's a decision that I know that you will regret for the rest of your life.
Hey, do you want me to pick anything up?
You know what? I'll leave Mazzonis. I don't care.
Hey, all right.
Love you.
I love you.
Mommy, I forgot my crystal bracelet.
It's okay, sweetheart. It'll still be there when we get back. Everyone loves the picture I posted of you.
Well, I want to thank you so much, and if folks want to be involved, pledge, they can go to itcanwait.com.
Yep.
And they can pledge there. So thank you so much. I know you're going to be speaking at Boise State University, and you're doing a lot of other campaigns nationally. So I would really love to follow up with you and see what's happened, what's changed, what further change you've been able to make out there nationally and in our own community. But thank you for bravely sharing your story. It's a powerful story. I really appreciate it.
That'd be great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Rebecca, I think we all have to take a moment after seeing that. In the blink of an eye, everything can change if we don't take the time to be safe. So out of that story, what really struck out to you?
I mean, the whole story is just heart-wrenching. I love the moment when Reggie says, you know, you're not special. It took me by surprise, but I really, you know, his message is it can happen to you. You have to be mindful. It is not worth the risk. And that was really powerful. That was really powerful.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you to him for being willing to share his story.
Absolutely.
Countless lives saved, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.